Y'all a problem, we the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. Fire, better retire. On the job, ain't no one higher. High up, see the hardest drivers. Galaxy riders, alien siders. Out in the field, we left them signs. This is seismic, broke that ground, that's why we signed up. Zodiac signs, ain't no one
I'm a desperado, there will be no next to follow. Time I give them extra throttle, but I never need to flex it. Better when you exit, we shine like Apollo. And I gotta hold this to accolades, I'm feeling like Milano. No rappers have gone the motto, ayy. Fire, burning all through my veins, aiming higher and higher. Enemies know my name. Banger, gotta bang. We the ones that put them words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. This that make them wanna bounce. Tag them, bag them, going, dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground, most are dead upon arrival. Going down must be your FICO, no, we're going at you like a hypo. Allergenic, venomous viper, killing it sniper, in your vitals. And echoing like a rhino, etching them like a vinyl. We unidentified flying, in Space Force, you know the title. Ay. Fire, burning all through my veins, aiming higher and higher. Enemies know my name. Banger, gotta bang. We the ones that put them words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. I'm saying, just give me 30 seconds, man.
This that make them wanna bounce. Tag them, bag them, going, dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground. Most of this that make them wanna bounce. Tag them, bag them, going, dragging, racking up the body counts. Breathing fire on my rivals, melting every single rifle. Burning cities to the ground. Most are dead upon arrival.
I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you. I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back with him. I'm happy to circle back with you. I can circle back. I'll have to...
It's pretty obvious, we all know you're pretending. You have no actual facts for the lies that you're defending. Conservatives not the only ones who find it condescending. The real reason you circle back is cause you know it's never ending. Round and round and round you go, dancing like a puppet show. Just a simple yes or no, thousands watching wanna know the truth. I guess there's too much to ask, like why Biden was at the Lincoln Memorial without a mask, huh?
Can't believe what I'm seeing now. Got everyone thinking now. Just how much you get paid, only just to hear you say.
We'll circle back with you.
Circle back.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
Circle back.
I'm happy to circle back.
Circle back. Only just to hear you say.
In the beginning, we try giving you a chance, but it seems intimidating if reporters start raising hands. Is it better if we send you the questions far in advance? Honestly, all we really want is answers about your mans. Does the fence around the Capitol means it's for securing borders? With Harriet Tubman on the 20, who can we expect on quarters? If Trump decided to sign this many executive orders, will you consider him a dictator or truly support it?
We wanna know. Can't believe what I'm seeing now. Got everyone thinking now. Just how much you get paid, only just to hear you say.
We'll circle back with you.
Circle back.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
Circle back.
I'm happy to circle back.
Circle back. Only just to hear you say.
Alright, Jensage, you're the blunt of the joke, but this message for anybody I see still fake woke. We see the strings of the vision that you all constantly stroke, and the fist full of propaganda you shove down our throats. Boy, I miss the days when we used to have Kaylee Mack. When they rapid fire questions, she would counterattack. How does it feel to know that we all caught on to the act? Let me guess.
But I will have to circle back with you on that as well.
Can't believe what I'm seeing now. Got everyone thinking now.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire. I am the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest day and moment of your life because once again, the people's champ, the people's choice, the one and only strong one is upon you. The ebony rampart, the one that breaks the hearts. The men envy and the women wish their man was like is in the house today. And unfortunately, I have a perspective on things and it's going to get heated. And even more unfortunately, I have to give it up to Dusty.
That's right, you do. You have to give it up. You have to. You want to know why? Because I'm the kick-ass Duke. That's right. I'm the producer. I'm the one, the only, the Dusty. And I have a perspective on things. And guess what? You've joined us at Plausible Foolishness. So let's get plausible.
You know, I don't like it when Dusty tells us what we have to do.
Listen.
If we weren't all on the same channel right now, that would have been an instant mute, and then we'd be talking over him, saying, "No, we don't have to do anything that you tell us to do. We're the two kings."
What was the Roman holiday? I think it's called Sagittarius. It's December 25th, where the slaves become the owners, and the owners have to act like the slaves for one day or something like that. That's what I feel like this episode's already starting out as. You know what I mean? It's already starting out this way. I feel very attacked right now. You know, I feel like Biden just crawling up in a hole as all the bluster and tough talk faded away. You know,
rocking back and forth in that fetal position.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Putin. The Putin. Don't make me go back out there.
Well, here's what's amazing. Let me give you the context, ladies and gentlemen. If you were living under a rock, Ukraine attacked in the middle of the greatest show of all time. That was Plausible Foolishness. We had a special guest, Topher 10 Music. And again, thank you, Topher, for joining the show. That was epic last night. I thought it was one of our best shows. I listened to the album. Yes, I sound old. Again today, the Tel Aviv song is fire, by the way. It's really good. Inception's good. It's all good.
It's
very
a great
solid.
CD.
It's an
album. Whatever.
I said CD. Listen, I said that to Matt earlier. Like, I listened to a CD, but
hey, at least we didn't call it cassette.
No, the
I was
worst part
listening
of the
to his
show
8-track and
Sure. Gosh, I still remember the cassette tapes that you could plug into your CD player and then plug it into your car.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Play CD. You're like, oh gosh, yeah, it's like I got a CD player in my car. That's how old we are. But what made it worse
And hit
was
a bump
when I asked,
skip.
remember when I asked you guys how old you guys were for 9/11, and Topher's like, I was in 5th grade. I'm like, son of a
Hey.
biscuit, man.
Yeah, I was in college, okay, guys?
yeah,
Dude,
me
I
too.
had buddies getting deployed. You know,
I was
that-
2 years
that
into
year.
college.
Anyway, yeah, we're old, but guess what, man? We're wise. Got some wisdom in here. So, but anyways,
Yeah.
I
And
was
I don't
wrong.
feel
You know,
old.
I was
I don't
wrong.
know
I
about
have to
you.
start the show off by saying the Ruskies did invade, and they did it in a very.
Okay, now,
How-
hey,
Go ahead.
I just want to verify the Olympics is over, right?
The Olympics are over. Matt Whaley is the champion. He's 4 days late, but he got it right. Under over Russian invasion. Whaley, W. Strong one. It's the second one I've gotten wrong on the show. California flipping red, and I didn't think there'd be an attack because we'll get to it. I don't see the strategic implications of this, but it is what it is. Again, you're dealing with madmen, and madmen can be very, very genius and foolish simultaneously at the same time. So here we go.
It's true.
So here's my thing. Vladimir Putin knows us way better than he knows anybody else. And like this whole invasion to me is, how do I say this? Very exposing to America, very exposing to the West, very exposing to Europe, because our boy goes in and he's liberating. How did he call it? He was liberating independent parts of Ukraine back to Russia. Right?
Yes. They asked him to come in and make them part of Russia again.
He
his
asked
claims.
them, come on back. And he did it under the guise of, I'm going there to stop Nazis.
What Nazis?
United States influence by flooding Ukraine with weaponry.
Now, but he's doing it as a liberator and as a Nazi fighter. So he's not only used language that you plausibly could use if you weren't looking at the whole picture, and simultaneously destroying any woke rebuttal. Because wokety woke tenet number 1 is punch a Nazi, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's going in to take care of Nazis, right? He's almost calling the West's bluff on how adamant are you against taking out Nazis? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take out Nazis. Why are you mad at me?
How bought into this garbage ideology are you?
Exactly. And this is the thing. Is like, this to me, okay, yes, it is definitely an invasion. But Dusty, I think, verified only 56 have died, which that's still, first of all, that sucks. That's sad. We should be praying for Ukraine and all Russians involved. I don't want to see people die. I want people to come to know Jesus Christ. I want people to follow Jesus and live long, fruitful lives. But we live in a sinful world. I want
sovereign nations to be sovereign.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what we want. 100%. We're all on the same page there. But what's very interesting about this was pinpoint strikes. He took out military installations, and he did it under the guise that the wokeness that's enveloped the West, he did it under their playbook. I'm liberating people from Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're woke, you should be on board with me.
Yeah.
Now, is that
otherwise you're supporting Nazis?
Exactly, you're supporting Nazis if you don't agree with this move. And it's so insidious because really low information, stupid people. Hey, Halo Weed. I love that comment, by the way, on twitch.tv/plausible foolishness. Hilarious. I can't say it out here, but it's beautiful. Here's the thing, like, if you're if you're really bought into the cause, how do you argue that? How do you argue? Well, he's liberating them from Nazis. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
And it's literally a temperature gauge to see how much.
Because you see a Nazi around every corner.
Oh yeah, there's Nazi. Listen, there's racism everywhere. I mean, like, I'm on Facebook talking. Go ahead.
Asking for proof of Nazism is against the against the woke Bible. You know.
All I have to say is you're a Nazi and I can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Nazi bad.
To question that is to support Nazi ideology.
100%. That is critical race theory 101.
That is protecting Nazis if you're trying to have them show evidence of anything.
100%. So it's kind of genius. It is. We talked about this on the show a long time ago, right? We talked about how, and I stole this from Doug Wilson, so I want to give credit where credit's due. But it's like, you know how we talked about how, like, nobody actually believes in transgenderism. Nobody really believes in that. Nobody really even believes in homosexuality either. They just think you're a coward and you won't call them out on it. Does that make sense? Like, Vladimir Putin's literally doing that. He is literally saying, you're a coward and I know you won't do anything about it. Now, I say that by saying this. I have zero intention. I said this on the show yesterday. I personally want nothing to do with going in and fighting a war in freaking Eastern Europe. I have no desire.
Okay, we don't belong there. It's not our fight.
I could not look at my 18-year-old daughter and say, hey, daughter, I want you to go die because Putin's embarrassing the West. Think about that.
Well, here's the other thing: the United States, as much as people want us to be this, we are not the police of the world.
Wait, you've just violated Republican Rhino 101.
We're not the police of the world. We're not.
And we
Our
shouldn't
military is there to defend the United States, not to police it, not to go in and go, okay, you've been a bad boy, turn around, let me. All right, don't do that, Billy.
It's flat.
We're not. So China is sitting there watching the response of the United States to go, okay, hi, Taiwan.
Yep.
Let me see this, and then I deal with you. Hold on.
I saw. Maybe you posted the meme. I'm not sure, but it was the guy looking around the tree, rubbing his hands together. But it was Xi Jinping's face.
Yeah.
And said,
Yeah.
China or Xi Jinping looking at Taiwan now that expanding borders is on the table again.
Yep. Because what can China now say? Well,
Taiwan.
we're just liberating Taiwan from Nazis.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And
Yeah.
We're
know.
saving it. We're saving it.
Listen, we're lying to your face, and we know that you won't do a darn thing about it because you're a coward.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. To Dusty's point, we're not one of my favorite movies, and I'm going to admit this, and I will, this is a sin I'm going to have to deal with Jesus later. Thank God he died for all my sins. But I love the movie Team America: World Police.
America! Yeah!
First of all, the America song.
Sorry, everybody.
If we ever replace the national anthem, I want it to be that.
Yes.
F yeah! F yeah! Like, I want that so
America!
bad. Or Welcome to the Pride by Five Finger Death Punch. Do you guys like Five Finger Death Punch?
Oh, gosh.
That's such a good, like, America, like, yeah, baby. You know what I mean? I want it to be the Florida national anthem then. But, like, at the end of the day, like, we're nowhere close to China. Why are we regulating them? Australia's the closest Western power to them. Japan, we got operations there in Japan, but they love us tons now. So, I mean, I haven't heard of the Japanese army.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we should do is refuse to do business with them.
You are stealing my points before we get to them, bro. Quit trying to pull the cake out before it's done, Matt.
I thought this was a conversation and not us watching Ray's speech on geopolitics.
No, I want you to hear me, my voice, Matt. No, you're right.
There's two kings, bruh.
Listen,
And a duke. A kick-ass duke.
this is not Sagittarius. What is that? What is it called? Sagittarius? What is it called?
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia, whatever it is. This is not that. Listen, I'm trying to impersonate Joe Biden. Chill, okay?
That's what I was doing. That's what I will. The thing,
Listen here, pal. I'm gonna take you behind the woodshed and show you something you don't want to see.
Let the kids run their hands down my hairy legs. They like to run it upwards and
man.
see the hair fall back down.
Come on.
Putin's terrified for me being president.
Putin. What are you doing in Ukraine, buddy? Pal?
Wait. Don't forget.
I'll show you the corn
best
pop.
negotiator ever to be elected vice president. Miss Cackle herself.
Boys, so here's my question. At the end of the day.
One quick thought.
Go ahead.
The best that the Democratic Party can do for a woman candidate is either cankles or cackles.
Oh, burn.
I thought that was pretty good.
Woo.
Anyway.
Are you taking shots at Stacey Abrams? Is that who you're taking shots at? Who are you taking shots at?
Cankles was a reference to Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear Lord, I forgot about. Oh, yeah. Shaky. That girl couldn't walk. She still can't walk. That's depressing. So here's my question, boys. Like, let's put away the fact that Putin's a genocidal, homicidal, psychopath, ex-AKGB. I mean, he's still KGB.
Well, there's one more point that I want to come back to on that
Go.
one.
Yes.
Pre-show, we were discussing a little bit about why Russia's going all the way through
Yes.
Ukraine, and I thought about that for a little bit.
Okay.
And what I came up with is this:
Okay.
what's stopping him?
Nothing.
So if nothing's stopping him, nobody's really doing anything other than Putin, don't do that.
Yeah.
Then why not?
Because our
Why not go all the way and just take it all? And you know what? Later on, if you get sanctioned so bad, go, okay, here's this piece.
I mean, I get it. Listen, I get that point. My thing is, all the leadership that they've had at Ukraine have all been Russian plants. All of them. They've all been Russia guys. Like the guy that's in power right now allegedly was planted by the Russian government. Okay, so like I get your point, Dusty. But if you're already in control of this guy already, unless he's, acting the fool or whatever, just do what we always do when the CIA puts in dictators. We just go and take them out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, does that make sense? I don't know.
Who's to say this is not?
You're basically just
them
asking
taking
why
out
is he
the-
doing this?
Yeah. Like, why? You've already got the guy that you want in control. Why are you?
Because he's not.
Because it's
not
not about
Putin.
control. It's not. I don't think it has anything to do with tactical strategy or
Okay.
economy or anything like that. I think it's purely a cultural thing that they're trying to engender, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was he gave a speech about what was going on in the Ukraine and why, basically why they're doing what they're doing.
Nazis.
And he goes into a lot of detail, a lot of economic detail, but at the very beginning of the speech he mentions the spiritual bond that Ukrainians have with the Russians. And that's really what it is. This is more about this traditionalism, a political theory that him and his advisor, a guy by the name of Alexander Dugin, who you should look up. He wrote a book called The Fourth Political Theory. And so basically his thing is that the communists and the liberalists, the liberals, we're liberals, like classical liberal, not, wacko leftist liberal. They joined up to destroy fascism, right? And then the liberals just watched communism die, right?
Yep.
And so they have this fourth theory, which is a blend of communism and fascism, which we're seeing in China. China's doing that too,
Yep.
essentially. There's private-public partnerships. There's lots of private companies in China, but they all have a party presence. And then you got Hong Kong and Taiwan. Other engines of, so it's like state capitalism. It's this weird mixture of fascism and communism. And so they're trying the same thing in Russia, but they're couching it in all this religious talk, okay? And traditional talk, it's all tradition, traditional masculinity roles, or family roles, lots of religious talk, but ultimately, like, what they believe is in the religious part of it, this is they act like they're Christian, but it's not. In the religious part, they believe that that through chaos, and specifically the chaos of Armageddon, we will be ushered into a new golden age. You know, they're not very different from the Islamists who believe that the Mahdi will come to power after a reign. After they sow blood and chaos throughout the world. So his goal is this united. He is like a callback to the Soviet Empire, minus the communism, but still traditional. Like they're harkening back to pre-communism Russian Empire, but really taking back all the old Soviet Empire places. That's their goal, harkening back to a pre-Russian, a Russian Empire, pre-communism. This isn't communism, but it's something traditional. It's Mother Russia, and these are our lost brothers out there in the world, and we need to bring them back into the fold. And but it's still tyrannical. It's still authoritarian. It's still evil. And we'll march to Armageddon and then usher in a new golden era.
So it's kind of like, say if Puerto Rico decided, listen, we're going to be our own country. We no longer want to be part of the United States. And they left and did their own thing. And the United States stepped in and said, no, actually, you're part of us. And just steps in and takes over. And yet still doesn't make the mistake. Wait, they did that. Doggone it.
No, it's more like, okay. When we fought Santa Anna, right?
Yeah.
We marched all the way to Mexico City. We sent them packing all the way back to Mexico City.
Yes.
And then once we were done, we pulled back to, the Texas border. And that was that.
Well, we now know
but it would
the
be
Texas
it would
border.
What's that?
What we now know is the Texas border.
Yeah, exactly. But we ceded a bunch of ground, or like Israel in the 6 Days War. They gained a ton of land, but only retreated, only took back, kept what was ancestrally Israel. What was historically and biblically Israel. This would be like them saying, you know what, all those lands that we had post that war, those are our brothers and sisters, and we're going to take it back now.
We're going to take it back now.
Yes. It's something akin to that, except that they never really truly held it. They occupied it during a war and then, pulled back to whatever. But
Yes.
yeah. Or like France, or like Britain, like the UK saying, you know what? We had all these colonies and we gave them up, but we've changed our mind and we want them back. Because frankly, they're part of the kingdom. They're our brothers.
Sure.
They're our sisters. India, Hong Kong, Africa. All those places. They're ours again, and we want them back.
Yeah.
That's actually more akin to what he's doing, and it's for the glory of Mother Russia.
Sure.
Of course. Why not? Because he's expanding his territory. He's getting exactly what he wants. He's getting the water he needs for the farmlands in southern Russia, which that area is going to absolutely love him now because look what he did. He's keeping the loss of life pretty low, considering.
Did you see what the government in Ukraine did?
No, I didn't.
I sent it to Ray. They said any civilian who wants to defend their homeland can come and get a gun and ammunition and help us fight. So basically, they're just passing out guns to everybody.
Well, yeah, the United States already gave him a ton.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fine, but I'm
But the
saying that's
citizens
like
don't have them.
that's a brilliant. I think that's a good move. I mean, it's
It
gonna be
is.
a bloody move, but I mean, what else do
Yeah.
you do? Your sovereignty
Well,
as a nation is under threat
they
by a
should
very
have been doing
giant.
that beforehand, kind of like the United States.
Yeah,
Who's going to invade the United
yesterday
States?
was a little too late, but
Yeah. If they would have been doing that 4 weeks ago, they might have stood a better chance. Say,
mhm.
here's a gun, here's a bunch of ammo, help defend your country. Here's blah, blah, blah. The only problem with that is also, what if they side for Russia?
Well, yeah, that is true. There's some speculation by some that or maybe even some historical credence that Russia has done things like move their own citizens into
Yeah.
Ukraine for that very purpose. They claim to be separatists or whatever, but they're all just Russian plants.
Yeah.
But I don't know the history of that to really say for sure.
Yeah.
But I have heard that.
I mean, if you're facing a bigger, badder, nastier army than what you've got, they might
You take
be,
the chance.
Yeah.
I quite honestly, I would have given out the guns as fast as they were coming in and said, "Everybody, here, take." The United States is giving these presents away. Congratulations.
Well, I mean,
You're
that's
now
the thing.
You're now part of the militia.
Russia's not moving through a city where every window is going to have a gun pointed at them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If that was the case, there'd be a whole different game plan of how they're going to go about this. Kind of like if anybody tried to invade the United States,
Yeah.
that would be a very slow and bloody process.
Yeah. It would be bombing runs and crap like that.
Yeah. Shelling for
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. Yeah. Much more destructive.
Correct.
Yeah. But again, your boy's trying to be pinpoint, and he doesn't want to destroy them. He just
No,
wants to
because
take them
he
over.
wants
Because he
to
wants
keep
those
that
resources.
guise of
Yep.
bringing them back into the fold, not
Correct.
just
Yeah.
utter domination.
Which
Yeah.
I got to applaud the guy. I don't agree with him. I want to make this absolutely clear. I don't agree with him, but I applaud him in his strategy.
Yeah. No, I mean he's crafty, and I'm with you on that, Dusty. I think I was reading the book of Job today, and craftiness is one of the words he used a lot. And I was like, "Is a crafty mofo?" Like he's literally any pushback he gets to this, he has an out for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has an out because
Well,
we've
you two
allowed
are
the
starting to
out.
sound like Donald Trump.
Huh?
You two
Yeah.
are starting to sound like Donald Trump.
Whoa.
What, for giving credit where credit is due?
No, for loving Putin and being a Russian plant on this show.
Well, it's funny because here's the thing. They're going to try to spin, because here's the confounding question that the media has to answer. Why didn't he do this during Trump's administration? Why didn't he do that? Now, what they're going to try to conflate, go ahead.
It's exactly what they said in the comments. Ray can save the people of Ukraine. He's a strong one.
No, can't be done. Can't be done. Only Jesus can. No, but I mean, straight up, like, think this through. Like, how do you spin the narrative? Because you claim he's a Russian plant, but he did the absolute opposite of what the Russians wanted him to do, and stared him down and sanctioned the piss out of them, and told them, kick rocks. Not going to happen.
And if he was a plant, why wait till now? Why not invade during those 4 years?
Because President Trump has cojones.
No. He's working for Putin. What are you talking about?
Cojones.
But that's
Balls?
the confounding question.
A bigger button than he's got.
He did.
Yeah.
He took Crimea, and invaded Georgia under Obama, right?
Yep. And parts of Ukraine.
And then Crimea. And then now he's doing it again under Biden.
Yes.
You know, the Obama administration part 2. The Bidening.
Because he knows there's nothing he has to worry about. He doesn't have to worry about any retaliation. He doesn't have to worry about the United States going after anybody in anything. Because all we're going to do is don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing.
Well,
here's the problem. If you're going to do that, you're more of a plant than the guy who actually stood in the way. Think about that. If you're going to just say, don't do that, but hey, we still need some oil, by the way, because we're running really low. Like think that through. Because here's the thing. Yeah. Okay, you got Obama. You know, Crimea happens. We're still getting money, or we're still getting Russian oil. That's why we didn't do anything in the first place. During Obama, he cuts it off. Vlad's not stupid. He wants money, right? He wants money. Yeah. So, of course, the Russian plant, he has to play ball with for 4 years till he leaves. Because remember, Obama's like, hey, when I get reelected, I'll be able to. You remember that famous?
Medvedev, tell Putin that we'll have more flexibility after I get reelected.
And guess what? Biden's back, man.
Yep.
Biden's back. Obama 3.0 is happening. We're watching as Obama 3.0. And the reality is he's not a smooth brother that can kind of say, hey, you can't say anything to me because I'm black, and that's racist. Biden doesn't have that out. You know what I mean? No. So that's what's...
But what are you talking about? If you didn't vote for him, you ain't black. He knows about black people.
You ain't black. George Floyd the next day. But yeah, no, I always remind people of that because it's very interesting that went down. But what was going to say, to your point, let's think this through. I don't know if did you guys see the press conference today? Did you get a chance to see it?
No, I didn't.
I've never seen him get nuclear heat from everyone. He usually just gets it from was it Peter Ducey? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
Or Steve
Ducey usually rocks him. But I've never...
There's 2 Duceys. I think there's 2 Duceys. One's in Congress and one's a reporter.
Yeah,
I think.
I thought his dad was on Fox. Is his dad on Fox? He's on one of the Fox shows, maybe.
I've heard.
I don't know.
2 different names.
Ducey, whoever the guy is,
whatever.
Whoever roasts Biden.
Yeah,
they were all roasting him today. Bad. They're like, what are you going to do? Oh, we're going to sanction him. You already sanctioned him. So what are you actually going to do? Well, our sanctions will be as effective as Ukrainian bullets and bombs. He literally said that today.
Well, he's not wrong because it's highly ineffective.
Yeah, I mean, so Biden was right, sure. So
I'm giving credit where credit is due. He didn't lie in that one. He spoke the truth. He just
as effective.
He just happened to hit it rather than deliberately hitting it.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've seen the media turn on him, turn on him for real, because it's almost like that epiphany. I was thinking about this today. For 3 years, we were told we are racist, homophobic, xenophobic, backwards, Bible clutching, gun loving, anti-vaxxers, unscientific, toxic males.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now you want us to go fight for you.
Yeah, no.
I have a middle finger up. Just kidding. I don't because this is still a kid-friendly show. But think about it. Thinking about it.
You got big fans. You got big fans in the chat today.
Noah. Don't put your faith in me at all.
Hey,
I feel all the time. At all.
Hey, Ray, we're going to change your name to Samson.
Samson? No, gosh, don't. Stop. Stop.
Problem is, you don't have any hair.
I got it right here.
Delilah already took it.
Yeah, Delilah, yeah. No, but I mean, think about it. You just called all of your fighting force, all your men, horrible for years and years and years and years and years and years now. And now you want them to stand up for you?
Not even stand up for you. Go die in a pointless war that is completely unrelated to us.
Yeah.
I think the collective American fighting force is flipping you off. I don't see too many hardcore gun-toting, God-fearing men that are like, let's go fight in Russia right now. Do you see it? And we live in Florida. We live in the epicenter. You get that sense from everybody?
So you have two things going against Biden. You have the absolute nothing but failure of Afghanistan.
Yep.
Just absolute abysmal failure of his entire administration, and the lack of pulling out, more of just running, screaming, and who knows what. And now you have Ukraine and the absolute failure of this administration to do anything meaningful. He doesn't even have to do militarily meaningful, just anything meaningful. And it's an absolute failure. So we're coming up on the midterms here very, very shortly. There's already starting to be ads and whatnot out for people running for office. This is going to be an absolute crap show. Biden is he's nuked himself to where nobody wants him. Nobody wants him to help them run for their campaigns. Nobody wants him anywhere near anything that they have, because they know if he shows up, they've lost. Granted, they're probably not going to win anyways.
Here's what's also interesting: they're blaming future gas prices and supply shortages, food shortages, and whatnot on this conflict.
Yeah,
really. What's that?
I watched Jesse Waters last night say that.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's complete garbage.
Cuck.
Yeah,
it's complete garbage. I mean, gas prices may go up because we do get oil from Russia.
I mean, but we get oil from Russia, not from Ukraine.
True.
We get like a minuscule amount of oil from Ukraine, to the point where it's ineffectually non-existent.
Yeah. But like, okay, so my mother-in-law was saying that to my wife, and I'm just like laughing, not at my mother-in-law, just at the notion that like this is so ridiculous that they're even trying to use big bad scary Putin as the reason why our economy sucks.
They have to.
I know they have to, but it's so pathetic.
Because it was happening before any of this.
Yeah, it was happening before. The reason, if gas prices are a problem, maybe you shouldn't have shut down the XL pipeline. Maybe you shouldn't have shut down all new drilling. Maybe you shouldn't have shut down the reason why we were a net exporter of oil instead of an importer. We were energy independent. Right? You scumbag. It has nothing to do with what's going on in Russia. Well, except that Russia probably has the money to do this because we started buying oil from them again.
Yeah.
And 70% of oil in Germany Germany pays for 70% of their oil from them too.
Yeah. Well, 65% actually. Up until, 8 years ago, Germany was energy independent. And then they get on this kick of, okay, we need to be green. So they got rid of all these nuclear power plants that were pretty much generating almost 90% of their power, and switched over to... Oh,
you mean the greenest and most effective energy source?
100%. Yeah. That still needs oil.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's
and
stupid.
So they switched over to
it even makes you glow
electric
green.
Appliance.
It even makes you glow green. Why would they get rid of it and say it's not green? It doesn't make sense.
That's funny.
I try.
Radium 234. Yeah. What's your watch doing? Is it glowing? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. Here's the question: with all this happening, why should I care again? Why should I care? Can someone explain that to me? Because I'm still, I think I'm missing that in this whole conversation. Why should I care what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now? Because NATO, which was specifically designed to stop the Soviet Union, isn't stopping the Soviet Union right now.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
True.
So then it brings me to my next question.
Well, we should. I mean, to stop the Soviet Union, we should have accepted Ukraine into the fold when they requested it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't want that because we didn't want so much Russian influence. Oh, wait, they're already there.
Oh, snap, Germany. But yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm trying to get at is, like, why should we care? And what sucks, here's the thing that sucks is, I talked about it last night on the show, the boy who cried wolf, at some point, the levee's going to break.
Yep.
And people are apathetic. Even normies, why in the world would you give a rat's butt what's happening there when your gas prices are absurd and they were happening before this? Why would you care when your schools you're sending your kids to are teaching your kids that they're oppressed or an oppressor instead of reading, writing, and arithmetic? Like, why would you care when inflation is insane? Where it's cheaper to buy a brand new car than a used car now. My buddy just bought a Mazda, and a brand new car is more. They're like buying up used cars and reselling them because it's an insane. I don't even know how this works, but cars are insanely priced right now. Houses, those who are hunting for houses, Dusty, they're insane.
Don't get me started.
Right,
don't get me started.
It's insane. Like, so why in the world do I care if Putin? Why do I care? Why should I care? Why are my kids the ones that have to go regulate this when I can't even feed my kids right now? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Why should I care about this when we don't care about our southern border? We don't care about the sovereignty of our border. Why should I care about the sovereignty of the Ukraine? It starts at home. It starts here. Show me you care about this stuff. But the problem is the guy who showed you that he cared about this stuff, they cheated an election to kick him out. You know what I mean? Like, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not serious about
allegedly.
This, you know?
Allegedly. Come on.
Oh, allegedly. Yeah. Gotcha.
Gotta get that allegedly in there, otherwise we can get in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Everything was fair and free and, not selected. But, yeah, I mean, like, straight up, think about this. Why should I care? And I'm not trying to be heartless. I'm still praying for the people of Ukraine. It sucks. It's horrible.
Sure.
People in the comments, why should we care? What is it that's going on right now? Why should we care about what happens to Ukraine? I mean, granted, it's not good that Russia's expanding like this, but why should that be our problem?
The only thing that we should care about is the human toll.
Yes.
Which is not going to get lessened by us getting involved militarily, by the way. And an expansion of power for Putin and Russia. You know? And so that's why we shouldn't do business with them. We should sanction the hell out of them and not buy their oil. And we should be doing the same and we should be doing the same for China. We should be saying, if you do business in China, you don't do business in America.
We need to start shutting down. A lot of the problems that we're having also with Russia is their software. They've developed really good pieces of software that people are going in and using, and those pieces of software leave gigantic holes in our security net of to where hackers can just come in and look at this. I now have access to this entire system.
TikTok?
We need to start watching where we're taking these apps from and what's developed on them.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing too. It's like, how do I say this? All the things that we would be pissed at Russia for doing, we've done ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? And again, I think to your point with the Texas point, you know, we gave back lands that we had already conquered. We literally could have ownership of all of Mexico if we really wanted to, right? I mean, we could have all of Central America essentially, you know, and this possibly could be the same thing. I'm just trying to find. The reason I think I care about this situation is because the same people who were wrong about, you know, weapons of mass destruction want to go fight there. Okay, the same people that were wrong about masks, mandates, and lockdowns want to go to war there. The same people that were wrong about defund the police really want to go there. Okay, like the same people, like it's all the same crap. It's the same people that were wrong over and over and over again, and they want to go to war. And what literally, I put this on Instagram. I was like, when Fox News and MSNBC are saying the same thing, run the other way. Literally run the other way. And I'm sitting there watching Jesse Waters. He's so tough. He's just so good. And he's so conservative and blah, 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 blah. But Ukraine's going to affect our prices, and we should go there. And I'm sitting there like, no wonder they hate Tucker so much. He's the only one saying this is stupid. This is dumb. Because like Hannity's smart enough to like at least feel the wind of how things are going. So he kind of plays both sides. But Tucker's like, why in the world should we be here? This doesn't make any sense. But all the rest of the Fox commentators, oh, we're sending 8,000 troops. Oh, man, we got to take care of the sovereignty. And they've got all these like war hawk generals on their TV all day today saying, oh, we got to be tougher and blah, 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 blah. This wouldn't have happened under Trump. You're right. This wouldn't have happened under Trump. We don't have Trump right now.
Nope.
Yep.
Do you want to move with
honestly,
this week? You want to move on with this guy?
If when the press corps was grilling Biden over what are we going to do, if he had, we would be, the three of us, I think, would be applauding him if he had said, nothing. This isn't our war.
Yes.
Right?
That's over there, and we're over here.
Yes.
Why should American lives die for this?
Yes.
Exactly. I would be like, exactly. That's exactly right. I don't care who's the
only
president.
thing better than that
would
be, yeah, Russia's an aggressor in this, no matter what they're saying, and we don't like that. But we're not going to send troops to die. American soldiers aren't going to die over there for nothing. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop buying oil from them, and we're going to sanction the crap out of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing better, but either is an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree with you.
But instead, he looks mealy-mouthed and you know, incompetent because he doesn't have an answer at all.
So do you know what these sanctions are that he's planning on doing?
His masters want us to go to war. Sure, that makes them a bunch of money. But he knows the American people don't want to go to war.
Nope.
So at least I think he knows that. Who knows?
I mean, he thinks America still is terrified of COVID. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, because the whole press corps is still wearing masks, which I'm like, why are you wearing masks? Like I saw a video today from Gatorland here in Orlando, and the guy's like brushing this gator, this albino gator with a mask on. I'm like, praise God, he's wearing a face diaper because that gator could have got sick. You know, gator could have gotten sick. You don't want that to happen. But no, I mean, like here's I guess because and part of the media wants to egg him on to do this because this is good business for the media. War is gold for the media. This is what's going to save their ratings because he's so horribly inept, boring, and a buffoon. And if they actually have to report that, then they're gonna, piss off their globalist, overlords. But I mean,
It ruins their narrative.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, the easiest way, like, if you want to save the Democratic Party, I'm going to give the Democratic Party some advice right now, right here, right now, and I'm stealing from Matt Whaley. Here it is. You want to end this conflict? You want to save lives? Stop buying their crap. It's that simple, right? The best video I saw today was, actually, I'll give Hannity give the devil his due. He showed an entire clip of Trump roasting the president of NATO, roasting him. And he's like, wait a minute. He's like, wait. He's like, why are we? He's like, explain. He's like, and this is my favorite. Here's my favorite tactic. This is a debate tactic. If somebody's saying something stupid, make them explain it to you at the most basic level. And Trump's like, literally goes, explain to me why this organization exists to protect Europe from Russia while you're simultaneously buying oil from Russia.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. And the NATO president's like, well, there's a difference between doing trade and defense, and, different countries see it differently than whatever. And he's like, okay, that's fine. So why are they in NATO? Well, because we need defense just in case there's an aggression and blah, blah, blah. He's like, cool. Then why are you buying oil from them? And he just keeps doing that to him. And he looks worse and worse and worse because there is no way to justify this.
It's just like when he was trolling them about their donations and whatnot to NATO. Listen, we're paying 90% of all the costs in NATO.
Yeah.
Why aren't all these other countries paying their fair share? We're not going to pay ours until they start paying theirs.
Yep.
You tell me why they're not paying, and then I will start paying.
100%.
And boom, almost immediately, they started paying.
Yeah.
Because, oh dear Lord, United States is not going to pay for this. We need our money.
And Putin falls in line because I don't want to piss him off and lose out on commerce and trade and all that good stuff. I don't want to lose out on that.
We made a mistake earlier.
Huh?
We made a mistake earlier. We said that Ukraine has nukes. They don't.
Oh, they don't?
You'll remember in the 70s and 80s, we said, Ukraine, give up your nukes and we'll protect you.
I thought they still had a big payload of nuclear bombs.
I thought they had leftovers from Russia. I don't think they have any ICBMs.
They
but
did.
I thought they still had some nukes.
They did, but we told them to give them up. Denuclearization, deproliferation, and we'll protect you, Ukraine.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Why is that squarely on America when Europe's a part of NATO?
Oh, yeah. It's America and Europe.
On us?
It's not just us. It's all of NATO. NATO said that, and now NATO is doing nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then here's my other question. We're 40 years removed from the Soviet Union crumbling, correct? Or am I wrong on that? How many years?
1991.
Okay.
November 1991.
Halo Weed is killing it on the comments today, by the way. He's like, we never agreed to this. I was born in the 90s. I like that. But no, straight up, why?
Well, my parents went 8 days after the coup happened. That's why I know exactly when it happened.
Okay. So, why? I don't know, man. At some point, but here's the other thing too. Give up your nukes and we'll protect you, but you're not a part of NATO? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's all. I mean,
it was make sense. Okay. You got to remember, back in the 80s and 90s, it was all about nuclear power. Was all the rage in getting rid of it. Nuclear power is bad. It is tragic. It's horrible because of one issue. One issue stood out above all, and that happened in Ukraine.
Okay.
Chernobyl changed the landscape of everything that had to do with nuclear from then on, because it was such a global disaster.
Okay.
It was affecting people not just in Ukraine, but in the entire world.
Okay.
There was literally a cloud of radiation that flew around the world several times, dumping radiation all over Canada, Sweden, Netherlands, parts of England and London, or not London, but Northern England and Scotland and all that.
Okay.
And it was atrociously bad. So, all right, we're getting rid of this. This is really, really bad. Russia falls. Ukraine ends up with all this weaponry, and the United States goes, all right, here's a great way to look good. NATO, hey, let's get those nukes out of there and try and take it out of United States or out of Russia's hands. What I remember from then is that they still had a couple of nukes, but they weren't ICBM nukes. That they were just
so maybe they have a little bit of a stockpile,
plane.
but it's not gonna. I mean, they can blow themselves to Kingdom Come and take some Russian soldiers with them, but so it either way, Europe and America did something stupid, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and the people of Ukraine are paying for it now.
Mm-hmm.
And the people of America and Europe want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Because rightfully so. It's funny. It's like we have some measure of responsibility for what's going on, but we should never have been involved in the first place. Yeah. And the only way to right that ship is to not get involved. At some point, somebody has to do what's appropriate. What sucks is that the people of Ukraine are the ones suffering for it.
So here's the gotcha question, though. It was the last thing I'm gonna say on the show today. Here's the gotcha question. It makes sense what you're saying, and I agree. I 1000% agree with you. I want nothing to do with going there. I have no business there. I never left anything there. I wasn't even born when this crap was going on. I'm good. Okay? I have Ukrainian friends here in America. I love them. They're awesome, but they fled there to be here for a reason, okay? Got buddies from Belarus that are here right now praying that it goes to crap and they don't have to go back to Belarus, okay? I get it. I have Russian friends here. Get it. Totally get it. And I love all of them. I pray for their families, all that. Cool. If this is our stance with Ukraine, which is why are we involved, are we going to have that same energy when Taiwan falls?
Exactly.
We should. And it breaks my heart because I don't want that. I don't want Taiwan to fall.
But I don't want to be.
I don't want China gaining ground.
I get it. I don't want to police the world, though.
I don't want that either.
I want to hunker down.
I want America to grow some freaking nuts and say, China, we're done with you. And we're not buying your products anymore, and we're not, and we're sanctioning you. We're done.
So
you are not a part of the global community anymore.
So this is going to harken back to the 1930s, the United States. We'd finished World War I, and it was an absolute bloodbath. The United States essentially said, "Listen, we're done on the world stage," and we closed shop. We imported quite a bit, but we didn't export much, and we just literally shut down as a country.
That was dumb.
The amount of
we should have been exporting everything we could.
Was really small. That's part of what caused the Great Depression, is the low exports. But
And tariffs.
as a country, we were looking at the world and going, we don't want anything to do with any of this, especially when war broke out again in Europe. And we're like, no, it's not our deal. It's not part of us. We're not going to be part of that. Leave us alone. We're not going to have another 8,000 or 800,000 people die in a war again.
Who was president at the time?
Truman?
Truman.
I want to say it was Truman. I'm probably wrong on that.
Who was president when Pearl Harbor happened?
Truman. That was Truman.
Okay, well, so then.
But when World War II broke out, it was somebody else. It wasn't Truman.
Was it FDR?
I think so. I think it was the last term of FDR, and then Truman got elected, and I think it was in his first year or so.
Yeah, well, I mean, when
41. Yeah, so it would have been his first year.
I don't think that. I mean, there is speculation that we knew that Pearl Harbor was happening, and they let it happen because they wanted to get into World War.
Well, it's not speculation. I have redacted documents that know that now, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, it was more of we needed a reason to get the people of the United States.
Yeah, okay, so the people of the United States
get involved. Yeah. It wasn't that the government didn't want to get involved. It's that the people of the United States did not want to do this. They just fought a world war. Was it 20? No, not even 20 years. It's like 14, 15 years prior.
Yeah. Yep.
And the only reason why that war ended was because of
the Spanish flu.
Spanish flu. That's the only reason the war ended, is because, okay, we've got thousands and thousands of guys dying from Spanish flu, much more than any of the bullets doing. So let's end this now, because we're just going to see our armies dwindle to nothing.
Yes.
So it was more of a ending of attrition than it was an ending of a war.
Yeah.
Let's go to final thoughts.
Yeah.
I like Halloween.
Halloween's hilarious. He might be my new favorite. He might be taking Deep State's position. On the show. No,
yeah, we need a force field, not 1,000 bases.
Yeah, 100%. So, what should our posture be, right? Like, so, I see. I'm wrestling with eschatology right now. Okay, and I'm wrestling with a premillennial versus postmillennial view. I'm still paying millennialists. I haven't made a decision, and who knows, right? I see how this is going to usher in, and I see the heretics over at Bethel, where they're trying to hearken the apocalypse. Okay, which it's inevitable. We aren't actively trying to bring upon the apocalypse, the end of the world. Okay, our response when there's rumors of war, earthquakes, famine, and so on and so forth, our posture is to tell people about Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's our deal. We're supposed to work, we're supposed to plant, we're supposed to do, all the things we're supposed to do to tell people about Jesus. So, and God has kind of burrowed into my brain this insatiable desire to tell the truth, and be the person people hate and tell them the truth. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, even if it hurts, you know what I mean? It's like, I was online the other day, and one of my buddies is like, why are there so many divorces? Which is, first of all, another one of the stats, which is funny, is another one of the stats that is blown up, right? It's like the stat, like, we're running out of resources. That's complete bullcrap. That was never true. Okay. Divorce rates. People aren't getting married enough for the divorce rate to spike. People are not getting married. People are not having babies right now. Okay.
Yeah.
The other misnomer is that there's a 50% divorce rate in the church. No, there's not. You actually break down the numbers, it's not even remotely there. It is a lie. Okay. So after I addressed that, I made a statement. I was like, listen, at the end of the day, a marriage that's not centered in Christ is doomed to fail. That a guy jumps in and he's like, well, I'm a heathen and godless heathen and I have a great marriage. And I'm like, hey man, broken clock's right twice a day. But at the end of the day, you're going to need Jesus.
Yep.
And obviously it pissed off people, blah, blah, blah. But, I stood my ground and dug my heels in, because that's how I am. And I didn't say anything wrong or rude. And we walked away good, But at the end of the day, I still told him, like, you may be good. You think you're good, but you're good for now. And I literally said, for now, you're good. Just wait. Like, it's not going to be good. And I'm okay with being in that role because I feel like that's where God's called me to. So in this moment, like, I can't bite my tongue and tell people go with the flow and let's just listen to the governing authorities about this, and as they send your kids to the slaughterhouse. I'm not going to do that.
We can't let them send us to war again.
Yes.
But here's the issue, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. I agree with you guys 100%. I don't want to go to war, but here's the other issue on the other foot. The same issue happened with Germany in World War II, where we didn't want to go to war. We didn't want to fight. It's not our fight. We're not doing that. And he ran in and invaded Poland and just took it over. And then he just kept going and going and going. And it wasn't until he'd almost conquered all of Europe that we finally said, okay, time to step it up.
Sure.
And
now,
it wasn't, it was such a Herculean effort to stop that drive that I don't know that we'd be able to do that again.
Well, the onus isn't on us, and even in that scenario, the onus is, why didn't Europe learn from that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say, hey, by the way, you guys talk about Nazism all the time. Yeah. And we need to get bailed up, but for America. At some point,
Germany invades Poland, and France and England and all these other places do nothing. And then they kind of annex Austria and go on from there, and it's like they just let each other fall one by one too,
Yep.
And this is what I'm talking about is, if Russia keeps going, where do we say here's the line?
Well,
we need to have that line already drawn in the sand that says, you cross this, you cross us.
It's called the U.S. border. The moment you come at us, it's game on. I think that's a biblical stance, right? The moment you cross us, it's game on, right? It's like our home. Let's start at the home, right? If someone crosses in my home, they're getting a bullet. I got a 357 waiting for it, ready. It's ready. It's primed.
Mm-hmm.
I literally made Charity make sure that she could reach up and grab it. Okay, the other day I was like, do that again. We're running through scenarios. Like, I got 357. Hollow point ammo. If it touches you, there's going to be a hole. The hole that big coming out your back. It is what it is. So it starts with home. Now, the problem is what we need to do is start with our border in our house. How are we expected to draw some line in European sand when we can't handle it here? So that's what I'm getting at.
Point.
The other part is,
that's a good point.
Hungary and Poland are no slouches. They have not bought into this European Union pussified softness.
No.
Russia's not going to like it when they try to go over there. Okay, they're not going to like it.
And if they're smart, they'll ally together.
Yes,
because they're all under threat.
Yes,
all the Baltic states.
They hate each other.
Well, guess what?
They need to hate Russia more,
and they will.
That's a good point.
And they will.
The Baltic states need to. The people that are threatened are the ones that should be allying and defending themselves. NATO should have ended when the Soviet Empire fell.
Yeah, listen. If I'm Lithuania, Estonia, hey, Hungary, Poland, what's up, guys? Yeah. By the way, piss on this European Union. They're not doing anything. They're soft. They're worried about gender pronouns and homo stuff. We got to worry about, the existence of our children. That's where it starts. But that's my thought process.
Okay.
Huh?
Here's my final thought. This is
Go
what
ahead.
the ideal America looks like on the world stage.
Boom.
We don't have bases all over the world, but we still maintain a strong military presence, not in the world, but inside our borders. We still advance. We're still on the forefront of technology for warfare and whatnot. We have good relations with Western countries, though not necessarily pure, allyship, right? Like treaties like NATO and stuff like that get us into wars that we may not agree with,
Yeah.
We take each battle on a case by case basis. We sell products all over the world. We export the crap out of everything that we can make in the country. We import less than we export. Until you get a warmonger, and once that warmonger starts warmongering, we cut ties with them until they stop.
Actual financial sanctions.
Yep.
That would make sense. The problem is
that is if we even have a federal government.
Yeah.
But if we
My final thought is this. United States has a very serious problem. The biggest problem is we are wholly dependent currently on foreign entities who are not friendly to us for foreign oil. We have
Not
our
just
borders
oil,
just
everything.
bleeding people in. They're just flooding in, and nothing stopping them. We need to lock down these borders. We need to get ourselves energy independent. How do we do that? Through nuclear energy. It's clean, it's safe, it's renewable, believe it or not. The nuclear waste that current plants, that if we designed a plant today, would have zero residue. It doesn't have any waste products. It uses it all. And it uses it all cleanly. We need to have
technology
those
has
plants operating
advanced
all over the United States.
significantly since
and that way
Chernobyl.
we can export this energy out. That would literally change the face of America within a decade. So my final thought is this: we need to be powerful in our own house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
So
we
can
should be
outside of our house.
we should be something that nobody wants to mess with, but at the same time not have our hands in everybody else's business either.
Yeah.
Except to do actual business. Like, sell things and buy things. That's
Churchill said, talk softly, carry a big stick.
No, that was
Teddy Roosevelt. But yeah.
Was it Roosevelt?
Yes.
I thought it was Churchill.
No.
Anyways, I disagree with him. I say, talk loudly and carry an even bigger stick.
MAGA.
yeah.
Oh.
I feel you, bro. Boys, like the early episode today. We got a lot of viewers on this one today. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Hey, thank you for. Go ahead.
Tell us on the Discord if you like this time slot or whatnot. If this works better for you, all the viewers, and we'll see if it's even possible. But which time slot do you like better, this one or the one we normally do? Anyway, on that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, the home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, Rumble, Instagram, and minds.com, and anywhere you can get a podcast. Peace out. God bless. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Banger, 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 gotta bang. We the ones that put them words that's scrolling out in outer space. You don't want a war with stars, we all a problem. We the gang that took over these coordinates, don't bring it our way. Fire, fire, better retire. On the job, ain't no one higher. High up, see the hardest drivers. Galaxy riders, alien siders. Out in the field, we left them signs. This is seismic, broke that ground, that's why we signed up. Zodiac signs ain't no one
I'm
buyer.
a desperado, there will be no next to follow. Time I give 'em extra throttle, but I never need a flex.